Let's talk about Manchester United then. And I want to talk about Antony here because it was his first goal in 15. Obviously, we saw him get off to a scoring start at the club. 86 million he cost, but he is still only 23. My question to you is, can he fulfill his potential? That's one side of it. And is he going to be able to step up in the absence of Rashford in terms of goal scoring right now?
He can. I mean, when I look at Antony, he can if he forgets that he's a star, because he thinks he's a star of this team. I mean, he wants the ball all the time, which is not necessarily bad, but, I think he needs to remember that he's part of a team. And the sooner he remembers that, I think he sometimes complicates things, that there are players open that he doesn't see very often and decides to go on the runs. And, he's wonderful at that. But, I think he'll change that. I think, 86 million, that's a lot. I don't know how many goals he needs to score for you and I, or for you to think that he's fulfilled the requirements of that. I think it's early. I think this team is just being built for the future. You could see that right now. I think Ten Hag is doing a wonderful job. I continue to say that. I think this team is going from strength to strength. I think this team is now for sure making the top four. There were some doubts, of course, because the way things shaken up, but with Newcastle, well, forget Newcastle, but with Spurs losing the way they've lost, it's all done and dusted. Manchester United are going to be there, injuries or not, because they have plenty. And Ten Hag showed me that he can make players better, and that's why I think that Antony will either become better shortly, or he's going to be out of the team, because that's what Ten Hag's going to do.
What's your thoughts then on the top four race? Because there have been some stumbles in the studio, even on the FC show at the moment, given Manchester United's injuries, particularly to the centre-backs. That bigger picture, it could be a problem for them in the top four race. But then maybe we've got the benefit of the doubt now from seeing the weekend's results. Who are your top four?
Top four is still Manchester City, Arsenal, Manchester United, and Newcastle.
Right. So that's
Spurs are done and dusted. It's over. It's not even a conversation. I mean, you probably have your money more on Brighton and Villa in some crazy way to make a push, but Spurs are done.
Spurs, this is their trips ahead as well. Trips to Newcastle and Liverpool, and sandwiched in between that, Manchester United pay a visit. What's the chance of 0 points from those 3 games for Spurs?
I don't know if it's 0 points, but I mean, just the fact that you're asking me that question tells you everything. That, I mean, even if they just get, this is 9 points. If they get 1 or 2, 2 draws, it's still done and dusted. I mean, they have to win 2 out of the 3, if not 3 out of the 3. They have an extra game anyway on a couple of those teams as well. So look, I mean, this is a team that's incredibly, mentally weak. I think Antonio Conte was right in what he said in general, but he's done him a tremendous disservice by saying so, because I think they took it to heart, even if it's true. A manager like Antonio Conte should have never done that, right? So maybe it's a good thing, some will say, because it's a realistic thing. But what we saw against Bournemouth, I mean, that's absolutely crazy to give that away to a team like Bournemouth. So no, I see 0 reason why Spurs could make it top 4. They just don't deserve it. I mean, Newcastle and Manchester United are a better team, and certainly Manchester City and Arsenal are as well.
Thank you very much for watching ESPN FC on YouTube. For more highlights, analysis, and exclusive content, be sure to subscribe.